about all sorts of no. It's just impossible to do an intro on the first take. I don't care. I can write it down. I'm still not gonna get it right. What up, nerds? My name is Leslie Smith. Welcome to The Nerdy Narrative, a channel where I talk about all sorts of fun, bookish things, usually in the science fiction, fantasy, and horror genres. If this is your first time visiting, welcome. And if you've been here a while, welcome back. If you missed Friday's video, I did Ryan from Seeking Stories original tag, how to adapt a book tag, where you take a favorite book and you're trying to sell it to a studio in order to make it a movie. So if you want to check that out, I will throw that up in the cards for you. I have to shout out 2 new patrons in the Nerds Radiant tier. That is Kayla Hicks and Tyler Black. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Every bit helps towards the goal of getting some better equipment to do more things. I just wanted to say, again, thank you to all my patrons. You make my heart happy. Without further ado, let's get into what I read last week, and let's talk about what I'm gonna read this week. Y'all know I like to start my day off with a little bit of manga with my coffee. So currently the series I'm working on is the One Piece manga. I'm reading it with my bookish bestie Una from the Codex Cantina. So I'll have his channel linked below. Please go check him out. You will love the duo that is Una and Crypto. The only bad thing about Japanese manga is I can never ever pronounce the author's name. Well, sometimes I can with a lot of practice. However, I don't know how to say this guy's name. Somebody has to tell me the proper way, and then they have to tell me like a bunch until I can like get it in my head, and then I have to really practice at it. So I don't know how to say his name. Ikiro Oda? I don't know. We'll call him Oda. I can say Oda. It's like Yoda. One Piece is a pirate manga. So one of the main characters you fall in love with immediately in the first issue is Luffy. He is a little boy when you first meet him, and his dream is to become king of the pirates. It jumps ahead, he's grown up. I think he's around 18 or 19, and he is trying to form his pirate crew so he can begin his journey of becoming the king of the pirates. This is a very enjoyable manga. I dare say it may be my favorite. Yes, even over Inuyasha, and here's why. So Inuyasha I loved because I loved the show, and the show had a whole lot more detail about it than the manga. So I loved the manga, even though it was a much pared down version of the story. So this is my first experience really reading manga where I haven't watched the anime first, and I've fallen in love with it. I really enjoy the fact that the author includes excerpts throughout each volume that tells about himself. There was so many things I was thinking and questions about Inuyasha that I think would have been answered if I had known more about the author, but there was just no information out there. She was a very private person. Oda is very personable. He has a bunch of Q&As where people have written in to him, and he sprinkles those throughout the chapters of his manga. I love it. He is so funny. The manga is hilarious. The humor is right up my alley. I mean, it's like dad joke central, and I am a huge fan. When they fight, it's not over in just 1 or 2 special attacks. There are always new attacks being entered into the story. There's all kinds of different enemies, with some with abilities, some without. It's just highly entertaining. As the crew is building, we're getting backstories on each of them. It's a great way to start the day. I highly recommend it. If you like comics, graphic novels, highly recommend. Get up with your first cup of coffee, crack one open, and it's just a perfect start to the day. And of course, after, I spend the next hour gushing over what I've read, about what I liked, didn't like, what I found funny, and sending pictures to Una. I'm gonna show you one of my favorite things about the artwork of One Piece. It's the animals. He always draws the animals like really fat and round, and I love that. And what was really funny is first volume that I opened, and the opening frames was a freaking cow. It was the cutest cow I've ever seen in my whole life. He was just so round, and of course he was mooing. I'm fairly certain I took a picture of it, and I will slide that up here for your enjoyment. Fan wrote in and asked Oda, they're like, hey, I see all these pictures in your chapter cover pages of animals, but I never really see, you know, are you an animal lover? And he was like, well, I mean, I like animals okay. He said, I just really enjoy drawing them, and I really enjoy making them fat. I loved it. So the next one I've been working on this week is Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. I'm currently sitting at page 115. I haven't picked it up in the last couple of days. And that's a funny story, because in my TBR video, I was talking about how I thought it was going to be really difficult to not binge this book. And I was like, I'm really going to try and stick to my daily reading plan and keep up with the group and not get ahead. So I was like, I hope I picked some other really good books to read in between that'll, you know, help me calm down a little bit on that book. And I have to tell y'all, I haven't picked it up in 2 days. I started reading Salem's Lot by Stephen King. This book is amazing. My love for note-taking in my precious notebook, I haven't been able to stop reading to take a single note. I just don't want to. I only want to read this book. Ever since I picked up this book, all I've wanted to do was read this book. There's a whole lot of setup, but the setup is done in such a suspenseful way. It just sucked me in immediately. The buildup is just masterful. You're getting to know everyone in the town. You feel like you know all of these people personally. I mean, I could picture the town in my mind as he built it in the story. I buddy read this with the Cat Lady Book Nook on Discord. We've really had a good time. I feel like we're both kind of on the same level of what kind of creeps us out, and we shared some really funny stories about what we read and then something that happened like in real life. It was pretty funny, and I think I kind of needed that comedic relief to kind of calm down from what I read. And then last night I really wanted to binge. Like, I think I had like 250 pages left. I tried to binge it. I couldn't do it. I'm a little less than 100 pages left, but stuff started happening and I was like, you know, I'm having heart palpitations. I need to put it down and just clock out for the night. I wish I could say I rested good. I did not. I had the strangest dreams. They weren't nightmares, but they were disturbing. Like, kept waking me up kind of thing, and I couldn't rest. So I do plan to finish this one today, and since I have let all of my other planned reading fall by the wayside, I'm plotting on taking a day this weekend to catch everything up and get back on track. We'll see how it goes. So that wraps up what I read last week. What I am planning to read this weekend and next weekend. So the first thing I plan to do is get caught up on my daily reading plan for Words of Radiance, because we do have our first live show talking about Words of Radiance with the Storm Along 2020 group on Thursday. So next up, I want to catch up on Assassin's Apprentice. I'm doing the patron buddy read with Michael Nipp's channel. I'll have him linked below if you want to check him out. If you haven't already, I'm sure you have. The boys over at Suspicious Behavior Productions sent me a link to read the 6th installment of their comic book series, Invasion from Planet Russelltopia. The first 5 I binged back to back. I cannot wait to see what this one's going to be about. It is such a fantastic comic. 80s, 90s wrestling, just absolutely done perfect. The next one I want to get started on is my patron buddy read, which is Rage of Dragons. I want to get to Tolstoy's Two Deer and the comic I picked up, Something is Killing the Children. So, I got a little bit on my plate, y'all. You know the drill, guys. Drop me a comment. Tell me what you read last week and what you're planning to read next week. I hope you have a wonderful day today. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you soon.